Hello guys and welcome to the new video, and in this video I am doing a new experiment. As you can see, I am basically doing my presentation in front of my TV. So that's something I'm trying new. So give me the feedback about this, if you really like it or you like my another way of doing the presentation, which is about the putting it on in front of laptop screen, where I use the screencast software to basically do the presentation. Okay, so in this video, as you can see, I will be talking about what does a data analyst do and all about the data analyst job. So yesterday I posted a video by telling you the difference between the data analyst and the business analyst, and on that I got some queries on my email about the how we can really come into the data analyst as a job. I am in a testing domain and I want to shift. I am a fresher and I want to shift. So what are all the things that one should know to really come into the data analyst job? If you are trying for it, then this video is useful for you, or if you are already in this job, then I have some material for you which can make you even more successful in this job by acquiring some more skills. So stay tuned with that and let me know how did you find it in the comments about this video. If you have any questions, answers, question, comments, thoughts, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to glad to look at it. Okay, so first thing, what I will be going to cover is the data analysis life cycle. What is the overall life cycle of the data analysis? We are going to cover that. Then I will going to cover day-to-day work of a data analyst. After that, I will look at or I will give you some information about tools and technologies that a data analyst use, and then what other skills make data analyst career successful. This is where if you are already an experienced data analyst, then you can basically utilize this fourth point and get the most out of your data analyst career. After that, we will look at what do you really need to know. I mean the skills that you should have if you are trying for the data analyst job, then what skills you really need to have to become the data analyst. And finally, some recommendations about education certification needed for data analyst job. If you are an aspiring data analyst or you are already an data analyst but want to advance your career, some certifications I have recommended based on the different team members I have seen who have joined my team, or in the data analyst circle, where people have really found it useful, and some guidance, some sort of information I will give you as to when you should basically go for any of the recommendation that I have gone here, because there are like offline institute, online institute and things like those. So what you should really do in that case. Okay, so with that, let's start with the first point, which is the data analysis life cycle. So this is about what really happen in the data analysis at a high level. So if you are planning to come in this data analyst job, this is something you should really know, and I will touch briefly on each point so that you will be aware that how complex, easy, or overall what's really going on with this thing. So first thing is, we in the data analysis life cycle, you basically identify data. So the different data sets that you need to identify, that is basically part of the problem that is being given to you. For example, the problem of the data analysis can be that you need to create a dashboard to show, let's say, the sales performance, or to basically show how the hiring is basically going on if you are doing hiring analysis. So to do any analysis, first thing what you need to do is identify the data sets, and that's what it's basically said over here when on this point. After that, you need to, once you have done the identification, you need to collect the data set, and the collection happen in a system. For example, you have like 3 different sources. One is, let's say, the spreadsheet, one is the database system, and one is like maybe another database system from which you need to collect the data. So basically, what will be your data collection strategy, how manual, automated it is, that's where what it's going on here. Then you have the clean stage where you need to do the data cleaning, because nothing comes as ready. There are always missing data points, there are always issues with the numbers, or if not if not the issues, then you need to really understand those numbers. So all of these cleaning related thing which goes over here. Even a step I remember back in my day is about bringing other values or coded number. For example, in most of the data set you have the coded values like product group as 1, 2, 3, 4, and for one, let's say it is a technology product, two, let's say it's a furniture product. So all of those groupings basically you need to bring in and do a little bit of cleaning and making sure that it is ready to analyze. So analyze is basically your step where you try to answer some questions like what is the trend of the, let's say, the sales, or where you are making the profit, or for example what sort of new products that you are launching, and what the sales that is coming. So everything that is coming mostly around what is really going on in my business is your analyze stage. And this is basically one of the first step or the basic step in the data analysis journey or a data analyst job, where people start with what's going on, and then in the little bit advanced stage why it is going on, and the further later stage what will going to happen based on all of this history. So I will talk about this in a different video altogether, but this is about the different stages of data analyst slowly become advanced, and you basically become advanced analyst or a data scientist, what I would say, once you know what will going to happen in the business, if you are able to do that prediction. And finally what you have is the interpret. I mean, after you analyze, you should be able to interpret. For example, if the sales are going high, is this something which is normal, or is this something when you do the interpret part, is it in line with other products, or is it in line with other territory? So basically you try to interpret it from a business point of view and try to give it. Similarly, one can come and say, okay, based on your data the profit is going down, but is it really going down which is related to a product, related to a region, or things like those. So basically you do the interpretation of the data based by combining little bit more factors than what actually you have reported, and then give the analysis back. So data interpretation is very, very important. Even it is one of the part of the exam when you do IELTS or TOEFL, where a data interpretation is something part as the student exam. When if you are planning for an MBA or anything, then data interpretation is basically given over there, where you have the chart and you need to interpret what's going on in that chart. Just a different reference to basically tell you how important it is. Okay, so day-to-day work of a data analyst. What do data analysts basically do on a day-to-day basis? First thing is, like we have said, like I have shown in the previous data analysis life cycle, it will be somehow similar to that but slightly different, mostly from the perspective of an analyst, not on the data analysis as a domain. So first thing is, you gather the data based on the requirements that is being given to you. Then you basically clean it. So the same step which mentioned over there is here as well. Data cleaning is important before you do any analysis or any presentation. Then you basically model it. Now the model part was not present over there. However, modeling is an important part of a data analyst. There are different types of models, and they become more and more important when the data becomes huge. So you really need to know the different data models that one needs to create to basically do the right level of data analysis. Then you have the interpret. So based on whatever you are analysis that you are creating, the dashboard that you are creating, are you able to interpret that? That's another important part of a data analyst. And finally, present it. So once you have created and interpreted the data, how you are presenting it? Well, for presentation, people, if you have dashboard using a tool like Tableau, Power BI, which commonly used by the data analyst, then it's a different thing. But if you are using presentation, then you need to know how you are going to present the slides, what will be the order of the slides. Even in case of Tableau and others, you may have seen that people use a creative ways of presenting the data, right? So this is basically your cycle: gather, clean, model, interpret, and present for the data analyst job. So after that, I'll show you the tools and technologies that a data analyst use. So there are different tools which use, but it always starts with Excel. So Excel is like very common data analyst tool which analysts use, and day in day out, even if you reach to an advanced stage where you are using programming languages and all, Excel will still be there. So this will going to be your fellow, even if you like it or not, but this will going to be everywhere if you are doing a data analysis an analyst job. Then you have SQL. So SQL is also very important because all the data that you need to gather or collect, most of the time you may have to interact with the SQL. So you need to really know or have a good grasp on the SQL queries as to what are SQL queries and how do you execute it. Then you have presentation or the Microsoft PowerPoint, where most commonly data is being presented to management or to the senior leaders. So having the knowledge of PowerPoint or the Google Slides, whatever the presentation tool that you are using, is very important. After that, Python is nowadays, like I'm seeing it from 2-3 years, it's being requested a lot. The reason for this is data has become huge. The crunching power of the spreadsheet goes down when you have, let's say, 1 million rows or maybe 100,000 rows with, let's say, 35 different columns. You cannot basically do an effective data analysis as compared to the spreadsheet, as compared to the Python, because you have the power of Python in that. I mean, I cannot really express it in a way, but I have used it, and things which I used to do in spreadsheet in hours, I was doing here in minutes, and everything was like automated. I just have to run the entire script and everything was ready for me in just a couple of minutes. Then Jupyter is basically nothing but it's an interface for the Python, very commonly used by the data scientist and the data analyst. That's why I thought it is important for me that I show this, because using this is very easy. If you have not already seen that, some of the videos I have posted related to the Python, where I have used the Jupyter notebook, and you may have seen that it's a very step-by-step scenario where we execute the code, or we write and execute the data analysis. Then Tableau is very commonly used for data visualization dashboard, which is also a key part of your journey, where you not only in this tool acquire the data, have little bit of functionality of cleaning the data, but also main part is that you can visualize, advanced visualization, and do the dashboarding and stories. So dashboarding and stories are two different components in which you basically analyze and represent the data from two different perspectives. And Tableau has been key from last 12 to 13 years, what I'm seeing for doing the data visualization, analysis, dashboarding, and story creation. After that, you have new tool. I think it's Power BI. This is in the market from 10, I would say 4 or 5 years, as far as I know. So this is the tool from Microsoft again for doing the similar sort of work which you can do it in Tableau, like data visualization, dashboarding, and story creation. And after that, what you have is the ClickSense. ClickSense is also a tool which is similar to Tableau and the Power BI, which is useful for doing your data visualization work or story creation work. So these are the different tools I wanted to show you for data analyst. Okay, after that, other skills that makes a data analyst really successful. So this is a key for those who already is a data analyst but stuck or seeing that they are not getting a progress. So first thing is very important, I would say 70% of the time you will see that communication is the most important thing. How you communicate about your project, how you communicate about your analysis, how you communicate about your findings is the key. So trust me, give a focus over there, take some courses, develop, evaluate your current criteria and see how you are basically going to advance in your communication skills. Cannot emphasize more as to how important this is. Similar to this, what you have is the interpersonal skills, which is about how you basically talk to others. Sometimes you have situations like which is not so pleasant, but how do you manage yourself and your posture, your language, your tone and everything, and communicate with others is a key. So different settings requires a different expectation, and how well you deliver that is a key thing. So this is an interpersonal skills. The third thing is about the networking. Networking is a key for the perspective of, let's say, you know the people from various different departments, and if they have a, let's say, relevant opening or a relevant project, they can basically take you as an expert over there or give you the job if they already know about you and they already know about. I mean, 3 times it has happened with me that because of the networking, I have got the job. So very, very important for this. Things you need to know to become a data analyst. Well, the first thing is you need to understand the data and its type. There are, at a high level, 2 different types of data. There is a categorical data and there is a numerical data, but even in that you have various different types. And one book I really recommend, which is Statistics for Managers, that is useful to really understand data and its types. After that, you have the basics of statistics. Basics of statistics is very important for doing the basic level of data crunching for producing the reports. Then you have the programming basics like Python or the SQL that you should know to really excel in your career as a data analyst. After that, you have the data visualization in the tools, whether it is spreadsheet, whether it is PowerPoint, Tableau, Power BI, ClickSense, anything you choose, you need to know about that. That's a must for today's analyst. Data presentation, again, once you have created the visualization, how you are putting all these things together is a key. So see how you can basically do that, how you present the data is a key, and you need to basically know about this to make sure that whatever work you have done so far is being how it has been presented, because that will going to tell whether your work is accepted or not. Okay, after that, education requirement for the data analyst. Well, first thing what I can say personally, because I am an MBA, I have got MBA and BBA and MBA, I would say in finance or operations research is key if you are trying to become a data analyst. Then 1-year course from IIM or IIM affiliated institutes. These days they are doing a lot of marketing, so make sure you get bit of a tag. And I see that what feedback I have got is they are slightly more serious program and much better in terms of quality when it comes to delivering upon them and teaching the students. Then 1-year course from ISB, Indian School of Business. It is expensive, but it is worth it. I mean, people have got many jobs. Even in my team, I have taken people from the ISB. That's how I can recommend that. Then you have the self-study. If you already into the data analyst, I mean, if you are planning to come into this field, then I would not recommend Coursera, LinkedIn or Udemy. I would recommend something which is slightly more serious. But these are the courses I recommend for those who are already data analysts and want to upgrade them. After that, I have offline and online institutes, which you may have seen. Many institutes out there offer their data analyst. Again, same recommendation, do it. But if you are already in this field, if you are not in this field, I am not very 100% convinced that offline or online institute can really give you that level of knowledge or that level of serious information which you need to possess to basically come into a data analyst. The first 3 is my recommendation to basically do a serious work in the data analysis education and do a job. The last 2 is basically for those who are already data analysts and want to upgrade, because you know that what course you need to take from these 2 criteria. That's basically whole reasoning behind it. Okay, So that's mainly I wanted to show everything about the data analyst as a job, data analysis as a career. Let me know if you still has any question about the data analysis. I'll be more than happy to clarify that for you. And I wish that after viewing this video, you have no doubt. But again, every situation is different, right? So every individual situation is different, what I meant to say. So let me know what do you need to know more, and I'll be happy to assist you. So with that, thank you so much for watching.